What do you think about Spirit on a map like Dead Dog Saloon? I feel like it's not the standard one that we see. I feel like I see a lot of Auto Haven maps played for Spirit. But a map like Dead Dog Saloon is, I guess, a lot of things to take into account for a killer like Spirit with a different power and the use of, I guess, a lot of grass, a lot of noise.
I honestly, it seems like a very strong map for Spirit. A lot of the pallets are extremely unsafe against her power. It's a small map, so she won't be really that hurt by being 110 speed. And as long as the doors are broken, it's extremely unsafe against her at main building as well. So, and also, like you said, there's so much grass on that map, so she's going to be able to easily see where the survivors are moving. I think it's honestly a stronger map for her than like your traditional Auto Haven maps that we usually see.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's a map that's getting more and more picked, and teams are having a lot more and more like sort of sight of it. At least what I believe to be a map that's not picked as much. It is pretty standard, but yeah, I'm used to seeing on Auto Haven. So, I think in previous sets we've talked about sort of survivor pathing and where you can go. I think the tiles on Dead Dog are very, very consistent. So, the use of the power, the prediction of the pathing, we could see some very strong results coming into this. But that's going to be our first game. Should we? I mean, do you want to go into the second game? Should we talk about that?
Yeah. So it's gonna be Plague on Rotten Fields, which is a really strange one. I guess the team that picked, or the team and killer that picked this, which I believe it's Synapse. Clearly wanting to just starve the survivors of resources. Making sure that nobody is healthy and nobody has any pallets, because that map has about 3. So probably looking to hook a survivor out in the open in the corn and then take the corrupt purge and then just win the game. So I think it's pretty obvious what kind of strategy is going to come out with a Plague on Rotten Fields.
Yeah, like you said, the low amount of resources. You quite often see situations where survivors are sort of boxed in to areas of the map, and I feel like Spirit's very strong at playing tiles with her corrupt, and on a map like that, I feel like you have some tiles that are safer than others, with the high haybos that you can crouch underneath. So for that set specifically, I mean, we'll get to it eventually, but I do think that the first couple of chases for those games are going to be really important for that. Played a little bit differently to the Spirit match, but it does look like we are ready to go in very, very shortly. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite a close set. These two teams are very, very strong. I've seen them play so far this tournament, and I've seen some of their players in previous tournaments too. So they are very capable. I think this could be a very, very close match. But we'll see as we are loading in to the map. Not too long left as on my screen here.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I believe, Eclipse on the Spirit. It's their pick. And I would look to see the Spirit very quickly find a survivor here. Probably using the phase as soon as we get into the match. Yeah, using that Rusty Flute add-on, which is almost mandatory on Spirit these days. 40, I believe 40% recharge there. So immediately pathing into the main building to try to figure out what kind of survivors are starting to take position there. And yeah, already finds a survivor here. Ace here in chase. Gonna go for a short phase. It's not gonna work out though, so going to just go back to breaking the doors and This is a really interesting build, Zach. Leverage Gift of Pain. There was that one time that Otts made a video about this perk combo, and then it was all anyone ever saw for like a month.
Yeah, so I don't think the survivors are going to get too much chance to heal. I guess the game plan for SLX, I want to say, I'm really sure how to say that name, but potentially keeping the survivors injured, of course, it's very, very beneficial for a killer like Spirit, where she uses her phase ability and the sound coming through, and of course a survivor like Jake's quite loud. Gonna commit chase. I would maybe thought potentially we could see a hit and run strat, but it looks like there is going to be a commit onto Jiggy, and running up towards main building where the doors have somewhat been broken. I don't think all of them have. Oh, never mind, they have been. I saw one broken at the start of the game, and then there was 2 more broken in that first chase. But Jiggy gonna go down.
Yep, Jiggy goes down, and you can't give a non-phase M1 to this killer. That's what happened at the water tower there, and it's going to result in the disappearance of the shack pallet and eventually the first hook here for our Spirit. So Faye's going to be going away from the hook now. Finds a generator that has quite a bit of progress, and that's going to be another hit there onto Manu, but a quick unhook there onto Jiggy. And I think the survivors are going to be dismayed to learn that they can't heal. Since leverage activates on the unhooker specifically. And looks like SLX here has found the area with the generators that are progressed, as Ace using Lithe to get away from the killer here. No phase coming in. Ace was pathing like there was a phase happening, and it seems like the Spirit just kind of passed over him. So now checking on this edge map generator. Now looks like he actually sees an injured survivor.
Yeah, we
phase
can see
coming in.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, nice vault there from Manu, and I'm surprised that Jiggy was reset in the distance through this Gift of Pain combo. I'm not sure, maybe a perk came in there or maybe inner healing, but Manu now in chase over in the corner. This is a pretty long loop here to phase on if you're going to do it from that direction, but Manu eventually going to go down here. Yep, down in the corner. One eruption going to go off. The other gen that had eruption on it was finished. So, going to be a down here onto Manu. Second hook of the match for SLX. And I think pretty good progress here coming out for the survivors so far.
Yeah, I think so too. Considering that the Spirit found those 2 gens at the start and was able to slow it down enough. We do have about 50% on that main building, and then there is another one. The one that got eruptioned, it's probably going to be finished soon. Unhook already coming through. It seems like they're setting up for these unhooks ahead of time. Probably calling that I am going to go down the edge map, set up for save, and not letting this Spirit just take hold of the game. That gen does get completed, the one that was eruption on that side of the map. We have some progress at water tower that we hear. And really strong. Was that dead hard? I'm not sure. Come through from Manu, and so we have 2 gens done and we have 2 of progress. So I think they're playing really efficiently, getting these quick unhooks and maintaining that pressure. That eruption's going to come through onto the main building gen. Manu's going to go down, and second stage for him, and going to be phasing back through Shack, trying to check on those gens that we did see at the start. Should be able to find a survivor here in the main area. And yeah, we can hear repair sounds, so that is going to be someone on that. He's going to opt to kick it first, but doesn't wait for the eruption to come back.
Yeah, he only needed to wait like 1 more second for that.
Yeah, especially when you've... Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a small misplay. You starve yourself of that eruption proc, I suppose. Jiggy's going to path back behind main, go up those stairs. Looks like he took the vault. Is he going to be cut off? No, he reads it well. Reads the pathing well from the Spirit. Vaults back. And yeah, it seems to be pressuring him on this window that is eventually going to block. It doesn't have chase, actually. Never mind. So it blocks now, but Yeah, it's going to go down, and yeah, no eruption, of course, because he didn't wait.
He
Thankfully,
eventually goes down, but that was great pathing from Jiggy and good
yeah,
good check spots as well. He made that take quite a long time.
yeah, it was a waste of time, and the third gen does get popped. This one on Gallo is going to be eruption. The reset comes through onto Manu and does see a survivor in the street there, off in the corner of his eye. We had this gen being worked on before, but it doesn't look like it actually has been touched since we saw it initially. Looks like a reset, or the unlock's going to come through. Is that Daimo, I believe, on the Renato, and Jiggy is going to be hunted down here by the Spirit. Does have this pallet. Does he have enough endurance time? He does.
Actually going to run away from the pallet and go down. Is this the decisive strike survivor? It doesn't matter because we can Mori the survivors here. Maybe a bit of a misplay here from Jiggy. I'm shocked that he didn't at least drop that pallet and try to go corner.
Yeah, I felt like you could have wasted a few more seconds there, and it doesn't matter, I guess, because main building's finished, and we're down to one gen left. One survivor out the game. A few stages on others. But I have to say the Synapse survivors have pretty good gen efficiency and are allocating their resources, I would say, quite a good pace. He's going to get hit on that pallet as he vaults it. A bit unfortunate timing there, but a good swing from the killer to get that. Renato's going to be lurking around Shack with a flashlight, I believe I saw. But we see a bit of a... So I would say, I mean, according to, I guess, standards of this map, are relatively spread. Last 3 gens. It could be a lot worse, definitely. And how easy is it going to be for the Spirit to defend this? Does find Daimo in this area of the map. Going to commit chase. And opts to crouch in place and... yeah, I don't know. I think they are playing this 3v1 pretty well so far, Prion. For me, at least.
Yeah, and Daimo actually is going to make it all the way into the corner here. So good pathing there. And that is just kind of how Spirit is, especially on a map like this. You don't really want to have any delusions on Survivor that you're going to be able to juke her in phase, especially when you're injured. So Daimo just going to the corner like a good team player. He's going to be downed. And now Chef Karma here on the ace needs to stealth or at least make it somewhere safe when he gets found. So Daimo going to be picked up. FaZe coming in onto the ace. Gets a little bit stuck on the stairs there. A little bit turned around, and it seems like Chef Karma has actually juked the FaZe. So right after I said no juking the FaZe, very good pathing here out of this ace. Able to stay away from the Spirit and not even give a hit there. So that's pretty huge for the survivors.
Yeah, it's found Manu. Maybe secure a second injury, that would be good. And as that pickup happened, it's going to be able to... Oh, very nice dodge out on that pallet. Getting hit before on that water tower one. Not going to be as unlucky this time. Timing that really well. And Karma's just going to immediately vault that. And does make this pallet, so is safe for the time being. This gen is about 50%. Eruption going to be applied on that one. And no risk, I guess, of eruption so far because we only have 1 injury on the board. Yeah, Karma's going to pre-drop that. He's going to vault over nicely. Yeah, so playing as safe as he possibly can, but is going to be a hit eventually. We see someone working this water tower gen. Is going to opt to apply eruption to it as well. Smart decision. And he's going to go back towards the shack area where Karma may be pathing. And we do see some scratch marks in the street there, but yeah, the reset's happening behind main. And there's a botany knowledge there onto Karma, so... Oh, never mind, it was the Renato. But Manu going to take chase whilst they reset, so there is at least no progression on the map happening so far. that there's a fast reset that happens onto both. And Manny can take chase, and again, look, you see how they're taking chase in this corner of this map? It is pretty much, I guess, the good strat that they need to employ. Manu going to double back there. The dead hard, unfortunately, not going to connect like it did last time. Nice little wait out there. And Karma and Dama are working. Looks like they're doubling that one on Gallows. So, do they have enough time to do this? I don't think that they do. It's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, Manu's pathing has been great this game, greeting the pallets against the 110 killer when she's not phasing, and I think they're just gonna commit for this. As long as one of them doesn't like get grabbed or let the killer kick the gen, yeah, they're going to be able to finish it here. Lithe coming out from Chef Karma to maybe not die instantly, but not so. They're going to go down on the pallet, and this is probably going to be a 4K0. But I think the survivors here of Synapse are going to be very happy with that. And actually, Daimao stealthed here for either a pickup or a flashlight save. So this could end up being a crazy play for survivors of Synapse here, as it seems like SLX has no clue where that Renato went, thinks that he's going to be on the doors here, and he's just going to get the pickup now. Drops the pallet, picks up Chef Karma, and now got two survivors standing, both of them injured, but only one of them can be phased on, and they are very smartly running in complete opposite directions here. Gonna be a lithe directly into the corner for Chef Karma. Very smart play there.
Yeah, because you just split this, right? Because she doesn't have enough distance on the phase to reach the other gate, but it doesn't look like Daima's opted to go for it. Is it maybe the call been made not to go for it because there's not enough time? I guess so. He wasn't able to make the gate by the time the down happened, so opting to double back on that side of the map towards Water Tower. And yeah, so he's going to be checking these gates. And yeah, they're just opting to save. Are they trying to maybe greed for 2-man out here? I don't know, see how that's possible.
I'm surprised that they're saving.
Yeah, so Daima's going to take over to this gate, but there's not enough distance for Karma to really make it anywhere. So yeah, again, I feel like I don't know what this save achieves, I have to say. But Daima's going to go down. And where is Karma? Does he have enough distance? Is Daimao dead on hook? No, it's the first hook of the game for Daimao. So no hatch play can be made. And yeah, Karma's still injured. And against the Spirits. Oh, okay, so he is on this gate. It looks like there is progression on this gate. Does he make it, though? I think that's only one light. Can't quite see. No, he's going for the save again. I'm not really sure what the survivors are cooking here, Prion.
I feel like he shouldn't make that save, but it seems like the Spirit just has no clue that he's going back for it again. Just runs directly through the middle of the map, while SLX was checking edge map, seemingly. So, Unhook going to come in from Karma onto Daimao, and now we're going to have two survivors standing once again with the Spirit, and I don't think Daimao is going to make it very far. It seems like the borrowed time is being waited out. Locker pull going to come in, and I think that will give Karma enough time to do the door. He'll get there. I'm not sure if he's going to have time to finish it, but he can at least... No, he's actually going to...
I feel like you need to commit that.
I think it's going to be possibly a hatch play here, but because the gens were finished, at least.
Yeah, that gate hasn't been touched too much. Yeah, I felt like the Spirit's expecting another save, so it's why he's kind of keeping an eye on the hook and the...
Okay, so...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think here, Karma is waiting for a call from Daimao about the Spirit's whereabouts, and then he's going to get on the door. He wants the Spirit to be afraid of the unhook here. And it looks like she is. So if Karma gets on the door right now, he's out.
Yeah, okay. So that's it. As soon as we switched over to the POV of the killer, that looks like Karma got straight onto the gate. And okay, I was worried for a second there from the saves, but looks like they played it really well to get that one out. So nice. Not a
So
4K0.
two stages leaving out the door there for Synapse, which is a great result against Spirit on Dead Dog Saloon. Definitely good for them going into their killer set. Means that they don't need to kill everybody before the gens are finished, technically. But obviously, that would be great for them winning the set. But don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back with the second half of this Spirit set with Synapse on the killer. So we will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Dead Dog Saloon. We have Zynox for Team Synapse on the Spirit. After we just saw a 3K with 10 stages, survivors were able to get survivor out the door. So I think a relatively comfortable, a comfortable result to match. Zynox going to be finding someone over here, swings through the pallet. They weren't camping it, but does find first chase of the game about as quick as we saw it last time round. Good knowledge of survivor positioning there. See some scratch marks on this side of things, and it looks like we are going to see someone take chase. I can't quite see who that is yet. Looks like a fault's going to come through in this and it's going to be Tech taking first chase of the game. So first tag felt like not the safest area to take. Positioning there, you have the two pallets, but results in a hit, and going to be dropping Shack pallet as you go over to this side of the map, and is not able to make it into that corrupt area of the zone. Does have this pallet for safety, and it's going to drop that, and phasing around, body blocking that pallet, and see if Tech can make it. No, he sort of passes him through when he's phasing, and that's going to be a first down for Zynox, and a gens popped, and that was 1 minute and 25 seconds for that first chase.
Yeah, and the way that Tech just went straight back to Water Tower after dropping Shack really tells me that the survivors were working generators over by the main building. As we already see that one pop, I would assume that there are also survivors on main building right now. As we see, that's 60%. So good, safe pathing there from Tech. Uses the Shack pallet to last as long as possible. As we know, you're not going to be able to juke Spirit once you're injured. So especially when she's blocking the pallets with the phase or with the husk. Definitely one of the most annoying strategies that Spirits will use. Basically just robs the survivor of options, especially when they're injured. So Zynox now, smart decision to be camping the hook here. Knows that they probably have progress on one other generator, and there it is, the main building generator that I said they were working before. So that's going to be 2 gens done for the survivors here. And so now they don't really have that much progress, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade here coming in from Karosh as Tech unhooked. One eruption goes down, and it looks like the Spirit just wants to take a trade.
Yeah, we see a slightly different build in agitation instead of the leverage that we saw, so a little less slow down.
And I've realized why the Spirit was happy to take a trade there. This is a pretty horrible 3-gen by Gallows that Karosh has just been hooked directly in the middle of, and the survivors know this. That's why Mathis here on the Atom is going to take a extremely fast pull there onto Karosh. But now he needs to make it out of Gallows alive, but he's injured against Spirit. Oh, but he's able to outpath Zynox here and make it to the Shack window. Mathis here keeping his team in the game away from this 3-gen, and he's actually going to just straight up leave the area. So incredible play there for Mathis. And this better not be an injured survivor. Okay, it's not. So that's going to be the Saga here taking a hit in the gen area, but smartly getting away from it. So the survivors here of this is Eclipse. Eclipse's survivors have very adeptly escaped the area of the 3-gen. They no longer have somebody hooked inside, and honestly, that was very good survivor play here coming out from Eclipse.
Yeah, especially when you... Oh my god, nice hit on the railing there. Of course, you can hit that if you're close enough to it, and it did work out. Now, what to say? Yeah, the deep hook there on the 3-gen, they did so well to react to that because, especially with the win condition, where you need outs for the survivors, protecting that protecting the survivors there with the unhook is definitely crucial. And Tech's going to go down in the corner. This is going to be second stage for Tech, I believe, and Eruption applies on 2 gens. And does he make this hook over here? He's not opting to hook by Water Tower. Maybe he wants to try and get hook in that 3-gen, and it looks like he's going to manage to get it. Knows he can't make that far one, and we look. Looks like even though Tech died edge map, he's still able to make that hook, which is going to tell you the agitation value. And a good perk choice, especially for a scenario like this.
Yeah, honestly, it could be worse though. That hook is like right on the edge of the triangle, so should be able to be saved by a healthy survivor here, and they should be able to get pressure on that gen that's kind of out in the middle, past the gallows there, the furthest one away from the hook. They should be able to have somebody healthy on that while they go for the save. So not the worst situation here for Eclipse. Zynox content to camp, as that's going to continue here with this gen setup.
I believe it was the Saga pressuring that side of the map because he was found in that corner. And yeah, Tech is going to go. Oh, does he get that in time? Time is really close. He does get the unhook. That's going to be Mathis going down, taking the trade at the hook, and he opts to go for the tunnel. Never mind, no. Knows that he wants to keep a survivor hooked in this area. Is going to make that hook very easily with agitation, and yeah, again, I feel like we've just had a repeat of what happened at the start. So if they're not setting up so quickly for this unhook, then it could potentially spell trouble for the survivors right now.
Yeah, the only way that they get out of that area is with a double save. But it seems like they're putting resources elsewhere on the map and maybe just don't have the people for a double save. So Mathis is going to be put up on the worst hook in the game for the survivors. They really don't want to be there, but it's really the perfect place for Zynox to play around with this win condition.
Yeah, absolutely. Survivors completing gens, and no one's inside currently. Yeah, it looks like they sort of are trying to set up for this, approaching from both sides. We have Los Katanos here on the Saga. Gonna take a tag. He is going to be trying to work that gen there in the corner, and Zynox is defending it quite well because it is on that back side of the map. So
ideally, that hit would have resulted in Mathis getting unhooked by someone else, but not enough time there. Stun, though, comes out from Karosh, but it's not going to be a smash hit there. I don't think he has time to get Mathis without dying. So it's going to be, I believe, Mathis going to second, unfortunately, for Eclipse. And yeah, not a lot of progress on the critical generators. Survivor on second hook in the 3-gen. And now it's going to be Karosh getting hit with the M1. Really nice phase onto the healthy survivor there from Zynox. And now he feels like he's so far ahead, he can actually extend out to the gen that's not in the triangle and put down an eruption on it. Anticipates that they might be unhooking, but they're just not.
It seems like maybe they want to try and break that 3-gen above all else, but Zynox has the time, has that internal clock, knows how much time he has. And there wasn't enough distance for Los Gitanos there to make that unhook. Looks like he's going to be followed to main building. He's going to take a tag here, but not going to commit, I presume. No, goes back into that area, and ideally we want an unhook to come through right now. We've got 2 injuries on the board. Tech is the only healthy survivor, but is Death Hook. And is going to body block. Is he going to manage to do it successfully? And Mathis goes down, and Tech's injured in this corner of the map. This is going to be potentially quite devastating for the survivors, Prion.
Yeah, this is looking like it's nearly going to be game in favor of Synapse here, as they were unable to save Mathis. There really needed to be a double save there. That was the only way out of that corner. They were able to recognize what they needed to do. Just the execution just wasn't there for Eclipse, at least with the second hook that was in the 3-gen. They did well to escape the first one, but were not able to complete the second unhook. So Mathis going to die, Tech going to die. There's only 2 survivors left, and they're both injured here against the Spirit. And yeah, this is all but settled in favor of Synapse.
Yeah, it does certainly look that way. And unfortunately, the survivors who were injured were the ones that didn't have stages. So they didn't have enough time to reset. SYP played the timing so perfectly there. And unfortunately, Tech did result in a second kill. Good body blocking too, we saw. Crush going to go down. Eruption applies on that corner gen, and it's going to go on a hunt for the Saga. So I think really well played by the Synapse killer. And unfortunate positioning for the survivors to get caught in that corner of the map. Even despite knowing that they were in that sticky situation, Zynox managed to defend it perfectly and has played to the win condition super well. Knew immediately that a 3-gen was going to be the best thing to hold, especially on a map like this where you pretty much always have a 3 or 4 gen scenario in this corner. So map coming into play, and Kurt's going to go down, looking to crank out a generator, but I very much do not see this going in the favor of Eclipse. Unfortunately, it looks like it is a done deal. Zynox just trying to look for the Saga. Of course, we saw her close to this side of the map. Might just talk. Yeah, it's going to try to go for a reset. And does have the pallet side, so it doesn't look like he's going to make it. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, that is going to be a 4K2 secured by Synapse's killer. And they're going to be taking the first set of the game. And as far as I remember, this is Eclipse's pick. Am I right?
Yeah, this was Eclipse's pick. Wait. Let me just make sure.
It was. Yes.
Where? Yes. Okay, it was Eclipse's pick.
So we're going to go into next set on the Plague, with the Synapse's Plague on their choice. So it's, I want to say, not very good momentum for Eclipse going into the second game. Hopefully something can be pulled from that. But yeah, I think super well played. I think Synapse can be really happy with that result. And it's going to be feeling really good for them.
Yeah, and a little bit of BM coming out from Zynox there, hitting the Saga on the hook and spinning in circles. Interesting there. Not sure if there's a story behind that or not, but as Zach said, we're going to be going into the Plague on Rotten Fields set, which is not Eclipse's pick. So, going to be possibly a rough set for them, or maybe just in general. Plague with Corrupt Purge on a map with that few amount of pallets or buildings or anything. It's one of the most empty maps in the whole game, so it's definitely going to be a interesting affair. So we'll be right back with that set. Don't go anywhere, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the second set here of Synapse versus Eclipse. Gonna have Zynox carrying his killer momentum into the next match here on the Plague. This was his team's pick. Like I've said before, the Plague on Rotten Fields is gonna be a pretty rough set for the survivors. Everybody's gonna be injured. There's not gonna be a lot of resources anywhere, and Zynox going to be looking to end the game when he gets that Corrupt Purge. So, unable to find a survivor so far. But actually, okay. Right as I say that, he happens upon the No Mither survivor and just downs him instantly. So, really bad start for the survivors. Honestly, the No Mither survivor should have 100% been camping a pallet rather than getting caught unaware there. I can't figure out, Zach, how this could be a worse start for Eclipse.
Yeah, and 2 infections already tells Zynox that they have started repairing those gens that he infected at the start, and I think he's already found someone right there. I remember mentioning, I think during our campfire chat, that for a map like this that has so little resources, you need a strong start to your game. You need those first 2 chases to be long, to give your team time to work those gens, but also to try and just focus all of the resources into 1 or 2 chases is on a map like this is really the only option. It's not a big map. It doesn't have much to offer you. And now you're in a situation where your first survivor was caught off guard and is now getting camped on the far side of the map. It is a bit of a nightmare situation. And this momentum sort of going into the rest of the game isn't going to be too great. Los Katana's there looking for a save. And unfortunately, Tech goes second stage.
And fast pulling the survivor that just went second right after they go second is probably the worst play I could possibly imagine, as he's immediately in chase with the Corrupt Purge Plague, no decisive strike, gonna be able to throw a 1 pallet, but like you're looking at a tunnel out at 4 gens right now. I can't believe they didn't just let Tech hang there.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down and get worried straight away. Yeah, that sort of decision making at the start there is really snowballed out of control really for them. And this is going to be rough. At the very least, you don't have that 4th stack of Thanos slowing you down, but you still have Pain Res and Eruption going at you. They finish the 2nd gen only just after that Mori finishes. 1 infection on the board. You've got 2 healthy survivors, I guess, but yeah, what do you do if you're Eclipse here?
Yeah, I mean, so let's look at this from a positive perspective here. Well, I was going to say something about the Corrupt Purge being used, but it seems like 1 survivor cleansed, so now the Plague is right back to having 2 pools, along with the Apple, was where the first Corrupt Purge came from. So we've got 1 survivor infected, and that's going to be Mathis on the Lori. 2 survivors healthy. If the 3 survivors standing for Eclipse are able to play this very safe and smart, they can possibly maybe get down to 1 generator, and maybe with a Herculean effort and some insane chases, they might be able to finish all of the gens. So Mathis now taking that first chase, but he gets a medium vault here on the window. Oh no, that's probably going to be basement. He paused to go for the check spot here, and then it caused him to get the medium vault. I'm sure we've all at home done that before on the shack, but not going to choose the basement. Instead, the Pain Res here for Zynox, and everything that I was just saying about possible paths for Eclipse is starting to fall apart there after that medium vault.
Yeah, they get the fast save though, which again in these scenarios is the best thing to do, because you want all of your survivors up and playing the game, not just sitting around. But that was a really unfortunate medium there, which I'm sure Mathis isn't too pleased with himself. They are starting to see some progression on the map. They have 2 injuries on the board. Kurosh walking so that the infection doesn't spread and trying to get the attention of Zynox. But does spot Saga running away from that gen. Is going to vault there, play this tile a little bit. It's not too much in the area.
This is honestly where you need to greed. And nice play here from this Saga. Greeting the pallet once, making it to the window. She needs to be perfect in this chase here to buy a ton of time here for Eclipse and actually forces Zynox to leave. That is what you need if you're a survivor here on Eclipse. And now it's going to be Kurosh in chase. How far is that infection progressed? Actually gets a sprint burst there, waits it out, and is going to survive getting caught in the open there. Makes it to the dropped shack pallet. So another nice play from the Eclipse survivors here, but they're going to need a lot more nice plays if they're going to be coming back into this game.
Yeah, they have 2 gens either side working at the moment. And does Saga have anything? No, I don't think they do. And so they're opting to run into the corner of the map. But there is Eruption. And so that is going to proc on 2 of those gens that they were working on. And I think we did hear a scream in the distance, but I guess optimal sort of pathing for that situation. And Saga going to take first look of the game.
Yep, and no pain resonance there. Survivors will now know that there's no pain resonance in that corner.
Yep, so every bit of information is kind of key in a scenario like this. So they may be able to use that to their advantage. And Kurosh can be found here. Opts to not remain there.
Yeah, and Zynox can't camp this hook. It's not a pain res. There's no gens over there. And he knows that Korosh is over there, probably to get the unhook. He definitely saw a crow, yeah, over here, and is going to find Mathis. Mathis with the balanced landing immediately goes up onto the hill. And wait a minute, what's this? Korosh is not going for the unhook, actually. Found over by the Harvester here. And so I'm confused why Korosh didn't go for the unhook when Zynox went towards Mathis. So now in chase here at this Coldwind variant tile, going for an M1 mind game as Mathis gets the save in the distance, trying to spin around this locker, hide the red light, but it seems like Korosh not falling for it, won't go down to the M1 here, greeds the pallet here. Nice pathing so far, but eventually loses the mind game there, going to go down. And I believe there is a pain resonance in range here for Zynox.
Yeah, but crucially that did buy enough time for the unhook. That chase there bought them enough time to reposition themselves. Oskatanis in this corner working this gen, so gonna stay in this area. Does have the safe tree of Cow Tree, but Kurosh is hooked, I think, in between. It looks like the two gens with progress. So that's gonna be really good for Zynox. Able to sort of watch this side of the map with that hook there. And does collect Corrupt Purge, knowing that the two remaining survivors are injured. So, okay, as the killer got power, they unhooked. So that's good communication and the perfect thing to do in that situation. What they really need now is a good chase. I think they need to run this Corrupt Purge for as long as possible because I'm not sure there's too much power left. But no, Mathis goes down with that use of power there. And
trying to use the balanced landing there, but I feel like there was not really a way for him to dodge out on that Corrupt Purge. Had to use the balanced landing, but wasn't going to make it all the way up to the top of the Harvester. So another Corrupt Purge collected here for Zynox, basically saying that he wants to end the game right now, as that's going to be a third generator completed for Eclipse, and going to be Saga here going down at the Cow Tree. Only Korosh standing now. And where is he? Is he going for an unhook or is he working a generator to try to get a better win con? It's going to be pickup here. Opportunity for the save, but I'm not sure where this Lara Croft is. Pain Resonance does come in there. And it looks like Mathis spinning in circles on the hook. Two survivors hooked now, and actually a cleanse coming in from Korosh. Interesting play here. Maybe looking to get both of these saves, as it seems like Zynox wants to stop this from happening. Oh, hits him through the pallet with the M1 as well. That means he's only going to be able to get one of these saves, and actually maybe just decommitting for it here. Needs to get some kind of crazy stun here if he's going to make it towards Mathis. No, Mathis going to die on hook. Flashlight click there, and that is going to be game over here for Eclipse. I mean, this set, Zach, it seems like Eclipse, they're making the correct plays when they're in a bad situation, but they keep letting themselves get into these horrible situations in the first place, and it's just putting them behind. And like, it's, even though they're making these perfect unhooks, like when their survivors get hooked in bad spots, they unhooked to deny the Corrupt Purge from being used at the hook to camp. But the fact that they were even in this situation to begin with is why they're getting 4K2'd here.
Yeah, ultimately, Zynox isn't going to let them really take advantage. Well, Zynox taking complete advantage of the unfortunate positioning and shaky starts. And I'm not really sure. I guess I'm not really sure. Again, at the start with tech going down so abruptly, really set them up for a bad thing, especially letting him go second. And that kind of spiraled a little bit.
Well, it wasn't just letting him go second. It was fast pulling him right after he went second.
Yeah.
That was just a game over level mistake right there. And it's clear that Eclipse has a good shot caller that's making good decisions for the team, but it seems like they are just getting killed by silly mistakes in these survivor sets.
Yeah, we had the first set with the Spirit. Xanox able to find the hooks in that 3-gen area, but sending the Death Hook Healthy Survivor for the trade killed 2 of them, which sealed the deal for them then. That was one thing that they do make good decisions, but unfortunately, like all it takes is 2 mistakes, 1 or 2 mistakes in games like these, where they're gonna know what to do. Information is crucial, but yeah, I feel like they're gonna need a good killer performance here to stay in it, because 4K2 is, 4K3 is pretty steep. I think on a map like this, it's doable, but this, remember, is Synapse's pick, so they're going to have a strategy. But yeah, we're gonna just take a quick break to set this next match up, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to DBDLeague. We have Eclipse Killer going up against the Synapse Survivors, and relatively steep win condition. Unfortunately, we're going to need a 4K at 3 generators remaining for Eclipse to take this set. We do have a relatively small map in Rotten Fields, not very resourceful map, so we shouldn't count them out yet, but nevertheless, this is going to be rather difficult. Pretty standard stuff that we're seeing here, just setting up the infections on the gens. There is no corrupt intervention in play this time, opting for deadlock instead. Do you see that Thanatophobia, Eruption, and Painres as well? But not able to find a survivor just yet.
I do like the lack of corrupt here. SLX betting on the fact that the survivors aren't going to want to touch the gens anyways once they're all infected. So basically getting a extra perk slot there, choosing to include the deadlock, which I think is going to really help him with this meeting this tough win condition.
Yeah. Well, obviously you've got survivors splitting gens at least 2. One of them will be blocked for a number of time. And I guess generator regression when you need to stop the gens being done is ideal.
He's currently doing a great job of stopping the gens from being done, as nobody has touched a single one yet.
Yeah, and we can tell by the fact there are no infections in play. Manu going to take chase over at Shack, taking a tag over at that tile there, and managing to get that fast fall over the window, and relatively safe position for the first chase. Exactly what Synapse survivors need. Shack being the safest place on the map, but does he have enough distance? I think he does to make that window. Drops it on the inside, but has enough time to vault back over. Nice little attempt at the mind game with the vault, and it's going to opt to leave instead smelling, but still no infection. So either they're working on one of the gens that's not infected, or they are trying to wait it out a little bit and play it a bit slower.
At this point, the Hematite seal has to have worn off on some of those gens. I think SLX is in a tough spot now that he didn't get it down. He's going to need to either fully reapply infection to every gen, or find a survivor and get it down.
Yeah, opting to take the eruption, applying the eruption on the gens, and has found Manu at Shack again. Hasn't really sort of visited the top side of the map since that Shack chase, just applying eruption on those bottom 2. And yeah, I'm expecting a bit of progress to be being made by Synapse on that top side of the map, and gonna get a nice mind game with that that pallet throw, and Manny's going to go down on this little tile here, and you have to hope that yeah. So we see Xanax about to complete one. This one's going to get deadlocked. I don't think they have any other progression. Oh, did they try to 99? I think they tried to 99 it. Is that
They
right?
wouldn't have known about deadlock yet, so that means that Xynox was working a generator that has more progress than Karma's, and Xynox left that generator to go get the unhook. So there's going to be 3 generators with progress here for Synapse.
Yeah, Jiggy rotating for the unhook, and yeah, it was Jiggy's gem that got deadlocked, if I'm not mistaken. Like you say, 3 gens of progress, so they're already pushing the win condition. And because of the slow start, unfortunately for the Eclipse killer, has given Synapse the time that they need to push that. Unhook comes through, 2 infections on the board. And this really isn't the pressure, the type of pressure that you need for this win condition. I feel like there's a lot to be desired right now. It's going to need a big break. This gem with high progress was clearly the one that got deadlocked after that first one popped, and you have that one on the bot side that's been worked on by Karma. It's looking bleak, especially with the pacing of the game so far, Prion.
Yeah, and the pacing of the game, like you said, is entirely down to right now. Synapse is playing extremely disciplined on Survivor. They're hiding out this entire corrupt purge, not doing generators when they are infected. Stealthing very well. They went for this unhook while the killer was away doing something else. And then now they have their only injured survivor, Manu, in a very safe position, not going to get found. There's not going to be any tunnel out happening anytime soon here, as now Karma in chase at this tile. He's going to get fully infected here. Will go down to an M1. It's going to be multiple eruptions coming in, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. There wasn't a pain res here before. So maybe now SLX can take him over to a pain res hook, but see if that comes in now. Okay, so 1 pain res is going to come down, but we know that Synapse had multiple generators with significant progress here. So we see Xynox again working on a generator that is not infected. They're doing a really good job to make absolutely sure that SLX doesn't get the full Thanatophobia value. And it's going to be another Corrupt Purge coming out here. Honestly, it seems like a desperation play from SLX.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I completely forgot. But Karma's going to be on the hook, and he does grab that. But I think Xynox on this gen here is going to take a tag. No, he doesn't. Manages to dodge out, and the Couchy pilot's going to get thrown. Unhook comes through. 2 gens down now. That third one's going to be deadlocked, so there's a little bit of time. But as SLX was pathing up towards that hook, you could just hear so much progression. So that is clearly what the survivors are playing for. I'm not able to get these sacks. Yeah, playing the environment really well against this Corrupt Purge, and it is just about to run out. Does manage to get a tag, and pathing to the safe side, window side, wants to play around this pallet. We do now have Thanatophobia in full effect. Wants to force grab. And
a little bit of a mistake there from Xynox. He was having such a great chase, but he didn't realize that the Corrupt Purge was about to end anyways and lockered up. He could have just continued to M1 chase at that pallet, but regardless, great chase there out of Xynox on the Meg, allowing his team to reach the tie condition with lots of room to spare.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it's down to how disciplined they were and how slow they sort of played it, not letting SLX get any real momentum going in the game. And they have this gen here next to the hook. Manny's working another one, so it's just a matter of time now before that 4th one is popped and the win secured. Karma's in chase, looks like around the hook. Jiggy's coming in for the save as well. They're opting to both be in the area, knowing that Manu's on that last gen. And yeah, it looks like he's committed Karma. And I don't see the chase going anywhere near that gen that was being worked on. But they have 2 on the go at the minute. Yeah, it doesn't opt to commit. gets another corrupt purge, but I feel like it's already a done deal because even if he goes over to this one, Manu was about to pop that fourth one off in the other corner. And there it is. So with that generator being completed, that's going to be Synapse taking the set. Clearly playing with a game plan, playing to the win condition, but also having that good patience to deny the Plague any form of pressure whatsoever. So congratulations to Synapse for taking the win with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that the team that picked Plague on Rotten Fields had a very solid game plan for Plague on Rotten Fields. So Synapse going to be taking this set 2-0, and I believe that's going to be us saying goodbye to Eclipse, unfortunately.
It is,
since
yeah.
This is the lower bracket.
It is unfortunately in the lower bracket. So the teams that lose today will be out of the tournament. We saw China leave last game, and now it's going to be Eclipse. Synapse showing that they are a team to be reckoned with. Rapture with a good performance, Synapse with a good performance. I felt like we've seen some good performances today, and also some unfortunate blunders, which has obviously resulted in what we've seen here today. They do pop that last gen. They are cleansing. Looks like they might want to save, as we see Zynox cleansing also. Just opting to save their teammate in knowing that they've won the game. But yeah, I think that when these win conditions have been sort of decided, we've seen the teams execute it so well. Oh, it looks like they might want to leave instead. Manu's still in the trial. Just waiting for that to go through, and Jiggy is getting vomited on the hook. But yeah, I think well played by both sides. Some unfortunate mistakes from Eclipse that really led to such difficult win condition for their killer side. But we will say goodbye to them, and Synapse are going to advance to the losers bracket.